What's up, Fin fans? Miami Dolphins Syndicate here. Jacob here. Miami Dolphins fell yesterday 34-31 against the Buffalo Bills. These are the 5 things we learned coming away from that ball game. Number 1, better than expected. So I'm sure you could talk to the most biased Miami Dolphins fan. Even they wouldn't have predicted a Miami Dolphins victory. I said about a 15-point margin, 35-20. Donovan said, I believe, 35-13. So we were not optimistic. We did not believe, and we're not going to sit here and lie to you guys. If we think the Dolphins are going to lose, we're going to say the Dolphins are going to lose. We're not just going to say what's the most rah-rah, hype-up thing. Like, we're going to give you guys our honest opinion. And my honest opinion was I thought we were going to get battered. I thought the Buffalo Bills were going to school us, and that just simply did not happen. We made Josh Allen very uncomfortable, caused him to commit 3 turnovers. We had the lead at one point, despite only having 8 yards in the second half, and they had well over 100 yards. We were tied at halftime when the score was 17-0. Looked like it was going to get away from us. We only had 262 total yards of offense. We only ran the ball with 42 yards. Skylar Thompson was 18 of 45. There's so many things that point us in with the thought that we should have gotten battered like we expected to. But we created turnovers, we capitalized when we got into the red zone, and we had an opportunity if we stopped the Bills there. And I don't want to get into whether it was a first down, whether it wasn't. Calling the field standing is the right call there. It's impossible to see exactly where the ball is. He's got the ball muffed or tight to his body. It's impossible to tell where the ball is. Going with the call that stood, I'm okay with it. But if we stop him there, we get the ball back. We'll see what happens. We got the ball. Multiple opportunities at the end there. If we drive down and score, we take the lead, and Buffalo wasn't doing that great on offense, clearly. So we were disruptive. We were annoying. We were scrappy. We almost found a way to win, and I can be at peace with that. Number 2, play clock disaster. So we're not going to ignore the obvious here. All 3 of our timeouts in the second half forcing us to call timeout because of the fact that the play clock ran all the way down. 4th and 1 turns into 4th and 6 because of the fact that we did not get the playoff in time. So many times we see the team breaking the huddle with 10 seconds left and then calling somebody in motion. Like, yeah, no kidding, you're going to struggle there. Is that on McDaniel? Is that on Skyler? Is that on somebody else? Probably a little bit of all of the above. It was the most agonizing thing to watch, and it's something that's persisted over the year, the play clock issues. And we do know that Mike McDaniel, this is his first time calling plays, so it makes sense that we see these little bumps in the road along the way. It was agonizing because everything else seemingly was going our way, except the fact we just couldn't stop shooting ourselves in the foot with these unnecessary timeouts we have to call, and then the biggest play of the game, having to just accept a delay of game because we couldn't get the snap off in time. I wanted to bash my head into the wall watching that. It was unacceptable. Number 3, piggybacking off of that, mistakes stacked up. So separately aside, I wanted to make that its own separate point, the fact that we just couldn't get the play off in time. Separately from that, drop passes. Tyreek Hill had a few drops. Jalen Waddle had like 3 or 4 drops, and those have also stacked up over the season. Similar issue. We've seen the play clock become an issue. We've seen Waddle dropping passes become a very big issue. False starts coming up at the wrong time. These unnecessary penalties coming up at the wrong time. There the turnovers by Skylar Thompson. That turnover where he has his back at the end zone where he threw an interception on like 3rd and 15 or something ridiculous like that. The Bills go and score a touchdown. Could have been the difference in the ball game. If we just punt there and we stop them, we get the ball back. There's so many what ifs. If these mistakes didn't happen, if we didn't let the play clock run all the way down, if we had our timeouts at the end of the game and were able to call them instead of just let the Bills run out the clock, turning the ball over, the drops, mistakes really shot ourselves in the foot. A game that could have been won, we didn't deserve to win, but we still found ourselves an opportunity to win. With those mistakes happening, took the game away from us. Number 4, Jason Sanders may have saved his job. Against the New York Jets, making all 3 of his field goals, including a clutch 50-yard field goal to win the game against New York to put us up 9-6. That game finishing 11-6. And then yesterday, goes 3 for 3 for his first 3 kicks again and didn't miss a single extra point. He was somebody that we were able to rely on. The 2 biggest games of the season, he was 100% in the kicks he put up. I was ready to replace him. 2 weeks ago wanted him out because he missed kicks against Green Bay. He missed kicks against the Patriots. And then he comes out and is perfect in the two most important do or die games of the season. I don't know, but they're probably going to bring in some competition for him, but I'm begging that this form continues over from Jason Sanders. Some reliability to be able to hit field goals. Like, you just say we're like 50 yards out or so. I want to have a guy there that I feel confident is going to be able to nail kicks instead of what we saw throughout the majority of the season. He was one of the certainties yesterday. It was very uplifting to see him doing his job. Just the rest of the squad kind of let us down. And finally, number 5, season of progress. Now, as a Dolphins fan, that's something that I'm sick and tired of hearing, sick and tired of saying, but it is true. This was a season that we saw a decent amount of progress, a team that these last couple of years fell right at the finish line, finally make it over, getting into the playoffs. Now we go into next season with different expectations to win when we get to the playoffs. I'm going to make a general season review in the next few days, 5 things we learned about the season, but just in quick right here. This is a team that changed identities. One of the best defenses in the league went to one of the best offenses in the league. A team that was 8-3, in control of its own destiny for the entire season, all the way up to the last game of the season. We were in the lead in the AFC East once we were in double-digit week. This was a season that we ended up where I kind of expected us to. I predicted us to make the playoffs. I predicted us to barely make the playoffs, if my memory serves me correctly. And I didn't expect us to win the Super Bowl this year. So we get there. We play the Bills the first game of the season. For our first game of the playoffs, we put up a strong fight. Really bare bones team because of all the injuries. Missing so many key players. Xavier Howard has looked a shell of himself. He did have that big interception, but he got blown past there multiple times. But overall, I believe the season was a huge success. A huge success is just relative, though, because, again, the Miami Dolphins are the Miami Dolphins, and we've seen the struggles that we've had to endure as fans over a long time now. Mike McDaniel I've regained confidence in Mike McDaniel. He's 39 years old. He's never called plays, and he appears to be a very good offensive coach in this league. A lot of people I saw yesterday calling for his job because of how he handled the clock. That is just absolutely outrageous. We definitely out-coached the Buffalo Bills the first matchup in Buffalo, and just nearly did not come away with a win there. And then I could argue that we out-coached them again yesterday. If it wasn't for those stupid mistakes, we could have beat them with a third-string quarterback, missing so many starters on both sides of the ball. A left guard that I never even heard of before an hour before game kicked off. I have confidence going into next season. I'm really excited to see what we do with this team going forward. And that was 5 things we learned from the Miami Dolphins loss, the playoff loss to end the season to the Buffalo Bills, 34-31 on Sunday. It was a season with a lot of highs, a lot of lows, but overall, like I said in the last point, a season of progress. Now, the off season is now upon us, and we are not going anywhere here on Miami Dolphins Syndicate. Donovan and I already have plenty of video ideas for the off season. We are not going to let up now without Dolphins content. So those who are interested in year-round Dolphins content, this is the place to be. Please hit that subscribe button down below if you want to stay up to date with the Miami Dolphins, hear debates that Donovan and I are going to be having, breaking news about the Miami Dolphins. We are not going anywhere. We're going to be continuing to put out content for you guys. We love the Miami Dolphins. You love the Miami Dolphins. We're not going to stop. Please, again, hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you all very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts about the game down below in the comments. Please have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.